People reporting their family and friends. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because we're going to talk about an article, well, people willing to dob in family and friends for breaking the rules. Now, we'll have to see where this goes and get a feel for how the viewers think about this. But here's the thing. At least based on my cultural heritage being of German and Austrian descent, the idea of reporting people for petty breaches to the authorities, it sends a bad precedent. And what's more concerning is in a modern multicultural society where you get any fractures in your society, in your culture, and increased tribalization and appeals to authority, I just go straight to, I think of Yugoslavia, I think of all of these other countries which plunged into civil conflict and strife. And that kind of concerns me. You start getting this disunity in your country. And this is why I have such a big problem with leftists and socialists here in Australia, because they are a driving force for disunity here. One of them is all of the anti-hate speech laws. And that's one of the suggestions I'm going to look at, is that we need to enshrine free speech here in Australia so we can have open and public debate of issues that are of a sensitive cultural nature. Because you need, in a multicultural society, these cultures need to merge together, evolve, and change. You can't have one tribal group on a pedestal that you can't even dare touch. You need to acquiesce to their requirements. What do you think is going to happen with that? There's enough historical precedent that shows you this causes social issues, but I don't understand if people don't realize it, or they don't appreciate it, or they just don't want to hurt the fifis or the feelings of a protected group. That's what really concerns me. And this is just showing you that we're becoming a nation of dobbers, a nation of Karens. And I'm sorry to all the people called Karen, but there you go. So let's have a look. Sydney family fined for breaching COVID-19 rules after Crime Stopper tip-off. Oh, isn't that nice? Now, before we look at this article, let's just have a look at a poll. I asked viewers their opinion. Would you report someone for breaking COVID rules or restrictions? I put this up last night. And if any of you point out the spelling mistakes I make in this, it's usually because I have the idea when I'm probably in bed, and I think, this will make a good poll to discuss tomorrow. So I type it in my phone. So blame the phone. Blame Apple. And I'm for some reason I'm extra cold today. I don't know why. I'm not sure. That warms me up. That's good. So all of a sudden you've discovered why I now have a taste for half-liter coffees. So, would you report someone for breaking COVID rules or restrictions? And this, of course, is a subset of my viewers. I wonder what the poll would be for Channel 9 or ABC, but we'll have to see. So, of 719 votes, which isn't an insignificant number of people. And you've got to understand the demo on my channel is about 80 to 90% Australian. So, 11% said yes, 81% said no, and 8% said not sure. I mean, it's like, there's certain things that you would be frustrated about. Someone trying to break into my house, but, come on, there's got to, well, obviously not. 11% think they're happy to. So let's look at the comments from the viewers. I'm going to have another shot of coffee because I'm cold. So, AY, 6 hours ago. I'd only report them if they were a politician in government. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would. But would you report them if they're on the side that you like or the side that you dislike? Or, well, then again, if it's any of the major two, you just want to go them anyway. Or if they're one, what about that guy in the US, UK? He was in Parliament, had all these rules, and then had an affair with his mistress, breaking his own rules. That's why he did it, because it would have been exciting. Anyway. Bari, I still don't know anyone who had COVID or anyone who was having it. Mate, it's because the numbers are tiny. Tiny numbers of people that have got this. And all of New South Wales, 5,000 people. Okay, most of them are at old folks' homes. Well, who's going to tell you? That's the thing, it's not that big. It's like how many people do you know that, I don't know, we can think of some other things. Most people won't even realize it if they get it, to be honest. Orwellian nightmare greets you. Nick, of course not. We don't live in the Soviet Union. Well, not yet, comrade. Not yet. Don't worry. Fred Sting, I'm a good boy. Of course, Mr. Algorithm. I'll give you a heart for that one. Yes, Mr. Algorithm. ACO and ACS who are listening. Of course, we would report everyone all the time. Yes, over the pandemic, report what? What kind of crazy, nutty world is this? Well, it's the world that we're in, and it's a world of dibber-dobbying people. The whole, when I talk about the not in my backyard thing, this is related to it. Imagine if you're trying to build something or invent something in your garage and you had the neighbors reporting you for making noise, calling council, that type of stuff. It's the same type of mentality. We really seem to have a culture where in Australia you should be able to tell people what to do, by authority of the state. But then if you're a boss and you tell someone what to do, oh no. Anyway, Lewis Cypher. I don't even know what the current restrictions are. The only COVID rules I care about are ensuring there's a steady supply of bog roll. Yeah, that's a heart there, that one too. I don't get this. See, when I see people like loading up on all this toilet paper, I just see their diet. How much fiber are they eating to need to shit that much? Seriously, how much? You try the carnivore diet for a week, guys, and you will save the cost of meat. If that what is dissuading you from doing it, you will save that just in reduced toilet paper usage. Seriously, that is not normal needing to buy that. I'm thinking people are hoarding it just because they're, groupthink. You tell me, everyone. Maybe I should do a poll. How many times do you go? And we can try and figure out how much bog roll paper people are buying. I'll just make a bar gesture to them. What? Tell on someone for having a cold? Yeah, sounds legit. Alan, is that 21% that other problem? Okay, see, so it's changed. When he was looking at it, it was 21%. Now it's dropped down. I hate snitches. Linda Hill, I was reported to the police for being out of my area. Gestapo tactics, very 1930s. Stay in your assigned area. Stay in your quarter in the city. Wo sind deine Papieren? Schnell! Hoppla! German's not all bad, guys. I learned German as a child from my parents because my mother came over for a holiday and she's still here. So she only learned English at school. But we can't pass it on to the next generation. It's just Rachel tried to learn it, and maybe a little bit, but, what's going to happen to Germany anyway? Just look at what's happening over there, guys. Look at what's happening over there. But that's probably another video. Michelle's Garden. Only if I knew they actually had the virus and they were leaving home, because that's a real crappy thing to do. There you go. So there is concerns when she would report someone. If you knew someone had it and they were going out to spread it. There you go. Is that fair? What do people reply to that? How would you know? Okay. How would you know? If someone is under house arrest, would you report them? Which is essentially what we all are. Ricardo, on Karen's report, Daniel Andrews worshipper, always report people for breaking the law, and Democracy is Dead gave that a thumbs up. Absolutely not. East Germany sucked. Well, my father got out of East Germany, so yes, and he picked Australia as one of the countries to go to. Was it Australia, Argentina, US, South Africa? Australia was the first one to take him. That's why we're here. We came over here. Learned English on the boat as he went over. But this was a paid cruise by the government when they wanted people to come over. Little different, but still. And Ned Kelly. Depending on what they did. Say if they left a hotspot because they're a selfish prick and don't want to deal with another lockdown, yeah, I'd report them because it's a potential risk. But if someone is having a party at their house or not wearing a mask outside of a hotspot, I wouldn't. So it turns out some people would or wouldn't. If someone has COVID, they have it and they're locked up at home and then they're going to go out and spread it. Because there will be people that would go out and intentionally try and get others infected and spread the illness. Is that something to report them? But I think a lot of it is, and we'll see this example from the ABC. Yeah, well, let's have a look at what this family did, everyone. Let's have a look. So, police say people were willing to dob in others not following COVID-19 restrictions after a man and woman were fined for leaving Sydney to visit a pony club in the Hunter Valley after a tip-off. They were going to... So it would have to be either a family member, maybe someone on Facebook. How would you see? Or a neighbor would see them going to the pony club? Or maybe someone at the pony club dobbed them in and reported them, going, why they? That's probably it. Which one do you think it would be? Maybe a pony club. I reckon... Maybe this is stereotypical, but I reckon you could have a lot of Karens at a pony club. Sorry to all the pony club owners watching. So, Greater Sydney, the Blue Mountains, Central Coast, and Wollongong are now on day one of a COVID-19 lockdown, which will be in place for 2 weeks in response to a growing virus outbreak. New South Wales today recorded 30 new COVID-19 infections, with the Bondi cluster now standing at 110 cases. Overnight, 15 fines for travellers and those refusing to wear masks properly were issued, totalling $8,600 in fines. Yeah, see, the problem is that's not even going to cover the copper costs. A 56-year-old man from Paddington and a 22-year-old woman and a 13-year-old girl for Maroubra were stopped in the Hunter Valley yesterday after attending a horse riding club in Denman. The family was stopped following a Crime Stoppers tip-off by a member of the public, about 3 people from Sydney who were at the event. Okay, so it was someone at the event that dobbed them in. I told you guys, you can't. There you go. Probably a Hunter Valley person that doesn't want. We got to keep those Sydneyites away. Keep them away. And maybe we need to do that for all the inner city Melburnians, just in general. The man and woman. Sorry to all the Melburnians. The man and woman were each fined $1,000 for travelling outside of Sydney and issued a $200 infringement for failing to wear a mask. The girl was issued a warning. That's an expensive pony club trip. You could buy a whole horse you could buy a beast, $2,500. You could get a whole cow, to eat. You would want to eat horse, but still, you get nice, good beef for that. That's always where my mind goes to. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, everyone? So, New South Wales Police Commissioner Gary Worsboys called the family's action irresponsible, noting that the public would not put up with rule breakers. That's it. So good. What is also noticeable over the last 24 hours is that people in those communities are quite willing to dob in those people who have turned up when they should not have, he said. Crime Stoppers has already been used to alert police to make inquiries in relation to people who should not be in their community. No. Oh. There's a lot of blokes watching the channel. We've got a higher male audience than female audience. Lads, does this remind you of anything in history? And I'm not being sexist here, but this is based on my own discussions with my wife when I refer to something from World War II or something that happened back then, and she's not really interested. But come on, what precedent is this setting? Neighbours turning on neighbours, reporting people who've gone out of their quarter of the city. Oh, boy. Popular school oh yeah, it's school holidays, isn't it? It's popular school holiday destinations will also be on the police radar to deter families hoping to sneak through. No matter how many people think that they have to attend some of these events with their children or need to go on holidays, public health orders are clear, Commissioner Warby said. Traffic and highway patrol police area commands are abundantly aware of where people gather at these times of year, leading up to school holidays. And they will use the latest mobile technology to run checks on people, their vehicles, and see where inquiries need to be made in those caravan parks. That's it. That's it, plebeian. Stay in your spot. We know where you're going. We know everything about you. This is the thing. This is why the whole check-in thing, I'm not too fussed about it. It's so easy for them to find out where people are, particularly with everyone having mobile phones. It's just showing how incompetent they are. They need to develop a new system to track it. Wait till the government really has. I think the biggest thing with central bank digital currencies will be that once they tie it to a person, then they'll be able to find out where you are instantly. That's a whole scary new world. Regional New South Wales is currently facing less strict COVID-19 health rules, including a visitor limit of 5 people, compulsory mask wearing indoors and outdoors when not at home, and 50% capacity for ticketed events. What's this? What do you want to know? Okay, we can fill out a survey there. So, there we go, everyone. What do you reckon? What do you think? $1,000 fines, $200 fines for failing to wear a mask. Lockdown is in place until the 9th of July. What do you reckon? What's the solution to this? Well, I think it isn't that simple. My concern is long-term, that this is showing a fracturing of our multicultural nation, everyone. That we can potentially, descend into tribalism, and if that ever fractures even further and there is conflict between different groups, it will just exacerbate. And it won't be a nice thing. I challenge you to find me some multicultural civilizations that have stood the test of time. Look back. It's a challenge. Are we any smarter than people were in the past? This is why I would advocate one thing that we really need here in Australia, is we need to enshrine freedom of speech. We need real freedom of speech here in Australia. We need a Bill of Rights. We need to be able to publicly discuss and criticize aspects of culture which are not compatible with the dominant culture. We need to ensure that the new emerging culture that it will become Australia, with all this melting pot, is the best of all, not just the one protected by leftists. That's the big danger. Because otherwise, you'll get tribalism and you'll get social issues. And you'll get people reporting each other. Now it's reporting each other for COVID breaches. So it'll be reporting each other for publicly criticizing a religion, group, or special interest. That's happening. That's what I'm worried about. That's the big issue. And this has been in place for years, in New South Wales in particular, with some of their anti-free speech laws. People are all up in arms about what happened to Geordie's producer. And that really makes no sense to me, why you'd be communicating through a producer with legal issues to a politician. I think that's really messy what's going on there. But what's more concerning to me are people who are publicly criticizing a group, justified, one would say, and are getting condemned and dragged through the coals for it and have to go through the legal process. That's what needs public attention. But the problem is the leftists are calling for this type of thing. So it's frustrating and concerning. That's what my solution will be to this long term. But we have a nation where people are willing to dob each other in for going to a horse and pony show, everyone. How do you think they'd handle free speech or criticism of cultures? Do you think people would even understand the importance of having freedom of speech and shining sunlight onto bad ideas and cultural practices that we may not consider appropriate or un-Australian or in line with Western values? What do you reckon? Let me know your thoughts on that one. And thank you for watching. If you're a fan of the channel and like to support us, there are a few ways you can. You can help me buy beanies to keep my head warm now that I've given up the beard. It was just getting really frustrating with the baby grabbing on it, little Edward. You can also support us by signing up for YouTube or Patreon, joining SelfWealth, where we'll each get 5 free share trades, signing up for Stake, where we each get 1 free share if you fund your account. You can use Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband affiliate links, buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And watch out at those horse shows. Take care.